let's raise or stand up for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's begin. I did not print out the agenda, but I think there was only 2 things on it. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Oh, that's my fault. I didn't print that.
Nope. You want to pass them around? You start there, we'll go this way.
And then we're gonna do roll call if that's okay too,
Okay.
since Deb's on Zoom.
Oh, didn't realize I did it. Okay.
I don't know if we have to, but let's just do it.
Well, while you guys are perusing that, how do you want to do that? Just everybody state their name or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Paul Moster here. Joe Stute, are you
Yep.
here? Say your name.
Joe Stute.
Okay.
Janet Tebby.
Kathy Pelser.
And Deborah's on Zoom. Deborah, would you reply? Okay. All right. Peruse the main, Janet, did you see those?
No.
Okay.
Janet.
Okay, on this one, I evidently seconded a motion, but I'm not on the list of attendees. Good that way.
You're good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay, I'll make that change, and then I'll have you sign it, Paul.
Okay. On this one, Jess, I didn't make the motion. I can't make a motion as I understand it, so I would have voted, but I didn't make
Okay.
that. I don't know who made that motion. Was that Zach, I believe?
You can make a motion.
Oh, I was told I couldn't.
This isn't a big setting, it's a small setting, so you participate just like everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only enlarged by public meetings.
Oh, okay. I'm not a, what is the term of that, the rules? I mean, I'm not, I have to read Robert's rules. I keep meaning to.
It's a really young.
It's,
That was the only thing I saw in there. Then that's apparently okay.
This is the January 17th.
Yep.
Because I read
I need him to sign them.
All right. Does anybody want to make a motion for the 2 sets of minutes?
I can make the motion, Deborah.
Deborah made that motion.
I'll second it.
Janet second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we'll sign the minutes. They're approved. I'm gonna make sure I hand these to you.
Thank you.
You have it. Okay, the only thing I believe is on the agenda is discussion of the map. So, Jared, you want to give us a brief overlay of where we're at on this, why we're here, and how it all happened?
Sure. So the ordinance itself that established the HPC was passed in December of 2021.
Yes.
I believe on like the 21st.
Yes.
So that passed. One component of it is that also in a separate ordinance, they need to approve a map recommended by the HPC that will govern what properties are to be included in the purview of it, right? And that was not done properly. It was, what, a resolution, Jess?
Yes, for blighted areas.
Yeah, so what they need to do now is to go back and do that second part that establishes a true map, and that at that point we can start accepting COAs again. Because
Okay.
right now we don't have a map, so there's no designated area. So the choice you have here is to figure out what you want that to be. And I mean, I think Brittany and I have shared our preferences, and by all means chime in there, Brittany, but you know, ultimately it's going to be up to all of you to decide what you want to recommend that being. So I encourage you to have conversations and lay out what you think's best.
Question, you said ultimately it's up to us. I thought the town board has already decided.
No, so the way, sorry, Jared.
No?
The HPC, you guys are the ones that are supposed to present the map. So you approve it, you present it to the town council, and then they approve it
Right.
ideally.
I thought it was already presented to him.
Well, that's what he just explained. There was a,
There's a resolution, he told her,
But that resolution wasn't creating the district. That resolution was separate. It was something for the facade grant that's going down Main Street, so it was something completely separate from that. But the misunderstanding is that all of those things were kind of done at the same time. So we thought that that map was what was supposed to be with the ordinance, but it wasn't. The map was with the resolution.
so the only thing they
now-
actually adopted was Main Street.
Well,
well,
no,
no.
we haven't adopted anything.
Nothing had been adopted. So we
I
originally
they
thought
had
it
an
was,
ordinance.
well, we
We
originally
had
thought it was
the-
Brookville between the rivers because of the historic
National Register.
registry that was set
Okay.
up in the 70s. But that vote we took turned out not to be valid because the ordinance never got forwarded through.
Yeah, it's largely a technicality.
Yeah.
So what happened is, we gave them the information, and the town attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, didn't include that in the group of resolutions
Okay.
that was supposed to have happened at that point in time. We did get the actual ordinance creating this, but the next step is another ordinance that has the map.
Yes.
But but it was understood that the town attorney was supposed to include it?
And I hate, I
So
wasn't
what
here.
happens
I
if they're
wasn't.
not, if they're supposed to include it and they don't? I mean,
This is what's happening.
That's where we're at today because of that.
So,
But it was all different voting people back then that would have.
yeah,
Can I chime in?
hold on. So
Yep.
Joe, I'm sorry. The ordinance that we're just talking about, that ordinance was approved and created, and it created this group of people. That's
Okay.
all it did.
That's all it did.
Yes.
Yep.
So there was no map, no guidelines, no anything. It just created
And we set the
seven.
map then.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing tonight, because that original map is not, it was never approved. So we have to create a whole new map.
Yeah. And
So that's why we're
theoretically, you could
here.
do the same one.
Yes,
But
you could.
understanding what you know about sort of reactions and your
Yeah.
thought process, you may change it. Again, it was just the second section wasn't approved
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it should have been, and so that's where we are.
So we're
Now-
back where we were in August of last year.
Yes. Yep.
So,
That's frustrating.
yeah, any other comments, Janet?
Did we actually go back and see it in print that that wasn't included?
Yes.
And
By an attorney.
who wrote the print up? Whose notes were they going off of?
They weren't notes. It was, I can show you well, you guys should all have the ordinance. So the ordinance and the resolution had a map attached to it. That map, I think everyone involved at the time thought that that map was actually for this ordinance, but it wasn't. It was for this resolution. And that resolution was for blighted properties. So in order to get this grant, correct me if I'm wrong, but in order to get this grant, that resolution had to be passed saying that we had blighted properties in our area to get this grant, basically. So this ordinance, creating the Historic Preservation Commission, said in it that the HPC, you guys, would create an ordinance with an attorney and the map and present that to town council. We didn't do that. We did present them a map, but not with an ordinance, because no one knew. So, I mean, someone knew, but like, no one knew that we were supposed to have an ordinance with the map. So all we did is essentially say, here's this map, do you approve it? And they said yes. But legally, because it was not submitted to the Brookville Town Council in an ordinance approved by this group right here, it's void.
Is that how you remember it, since she was on that town council?
It's been a while.
I
but
know.
yeah,
And
I
I-
thought we had approved the map.
Did they sign the map?
As part of-
Did they sign the map?
No.
And it was
No.
So did they sign a document that included the map in the reference document?
No, all that was, the resolution was signed with the map, but that is completely separate from the ordinance.
That's where your confusion is coming in.
I'm sorry?
It was the map we presented.
Yes. That map was attached to the resolution.
How is the resolution valid at that point if it had a map that was not the map that was supposed to be included?
If it had the verbiage in there, yes, but that verbiage is strictly for blighted areas in our community. It's not for the district, the historic district, the commission. It has to be completely separate. It has to be its own ordinance, only creating the historic district, nothing to do with you guys, blighted areas, anything, just creating
The
that.
map would be legally invalid for the resolution and the ordinance then at that point, because the map that we presented was not for a resolution, it was for an ordinance.
But I'm sorry, and that resolution was passed before all of us. That resolution and the ordinance were passed before the HPC. I think the HPC was created on December 21st. That resolution was passed on the 14th of December.
Okay, so that map was never presented by us then? Not
Yes.
the map that anyone else
So you
Correct.
got to get to the grant.
Yeah, regardless, we are where we are. So
Right.
however we got here, here's
Yeah,
where we
right.
are.
So now,
Something.
what we have to do is either change the map as it was, keep the map the same, or we definitely need to have a deep discussion on where we want this map
Yeah, I had
to
somebody
be.
from the other end of town come up, was upset with me, about what they were doing with his, he's got a historical home, but,
So does he want to be in it?
no,
Well,
but he wants to move down to where I'm at.
so that's where we're at. And then I'm sorry, Paul, I don't mean to cut you off. What we're doing tonight too is we don't have the ordinance, by the way, which I know I told you all, but we do not have the ordinance. So we need to approve the map tonight. I will send that map to Lynn. She will I sent her example ordinances too. So she'll create that ordinance and then I'll present it at the next town council meeting, which is that first Thursday in June. Yes.
So,
Sorry,
as
go ahead.
I understand it, to keep the facade grant that was granted to us, at a minimum, we have to have this outline of a map. This is the map that shows from basically 3rd Street up to, I can't read what that is, 10th Street.
Got one down here.
Yeah, there's another one.
And that map is the Main Street Group's reporting area.
Yeah.
So, and Nancy's here if you have questions about
So
that.
essentially, this is the commercial district up to, that would be the funeral home there on the corner. Biltz's Monument would be over here. Davis would be over here. So that's,
And it goes down to the
yeah, this
shack.
would be
down to
the
Third and-
Freese building where the daycare is.
Monuments, right?
Say again, please?
Monument direction.
It's monuments.
Yes, Bilt's Monument would be on the northern end, outside of the boundary of this red line.
Well, I have a question, then why did they even include Court Street if they just want Main Street?
Nancy?
Well, not only that, you're leaving out all of those historic homes from the post office down to the gas station, which is.
There are a lot of historic homes
I
north of
agree, but
that.
my question is,
You don't
kind
have
of
to
seems
use
like they're
this map.
picking and choosing
No.
on what.
Well, that
they
was just for the
approve
grant.
Because they put
Right.
Court Street on there.
Hold on. Let's let Nancy answer that because she's here.
So Janet, the map that you have in your hands is the map that Main Street Board approved on October 22nd as our reporting area. So the local historic district, that's just a map.
Oh, this
Right.
isn't the one the
For-
town council?
No, that was
No.
just for the
Oh,
grant
okay.
purposes.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry.
That's the area affected by the grant.
So the town
I'm
ca-
gonna probably go back farther in a meeting. So what are we looking for in the areas that we're gonna make the map in? What are we looking for the area of preservation? And some people said, I just want mine, but I don't want all this other around me, like the Hermitage, for instance. And we had the couple come in and they were talking about their home. Okay, so what are we using for guidelines to say this is gonna be brought into the map, this area?
Jared, can you kind of explain
Yeah,
that a little
the
bit?
idea of pinpointing keeps coming up. Can you address that, either or both?
Yeah, sure. So, typically what you want to look for is like, is there an area that has particular characteristics, historic characteristics? For instance, you're not going to put an HPC in an area that's, for instance, all factories, right? Modern day factories. You're not going to do that. So you want to find pockets of areas where there is historic material there. So that's the first thing. I think that's pretty loose, so that can really go over your entire town limits. But that's the first thing you look at. And then you have to look at if some key spots were lost in some of these areas, would that mean the whole neighborhood then would go out? Because if it does, then maybe you do want to have that protection out there, because with a couple of them lost, you could lose the entire integrity of the neighborhood. Now, you can do landmarking, but that's different from spot designation. So spot designation is when you say, I'm on, so let's just say it goes that corridor that it mentions, and you say, but there's this really great church right over here. I want that, and I love her house here. Okay, so the problem you create there, and you already see where I'm going, is that everyone, like, between there isn't held to the same standards. So what you really have to do with those is the quality of that place has to be so high that it's worth being like, this is an absolutely different property from everything around it.
Yeah.
We have one of those landmark properties in the Aurora HPC, and it's a federal style, later on adjusted to Italianate style, huge house, and it's right on 50. And it's the only one we have. We still apply all the same guidelines to it, but the reality is we know that nothing around it really compares. So it makes sense that it sits on its own, right? Do you have any in yours?
There's one in Richmond. Actually, Richmond has a couple, but there's one that I'm thinking of it's the surrounding, it honestly kind of sits on its own. There's not much around
Yeah.
it. So that's kind of, I think, why they did it. But the surrounding areas, there's a school, a more modern school next to it. Some neighborhoods some houses that are considerable, but yeah,
There's some beautiful places in Richmond.
there are, yeah,
There really is.
They need some.
Well, and something that I understand too about, and I think that brings up a really great point, is that again, with this landmark property in Aurora, you've got the gas station across the corner, you've got CVS, and of course Walgreens on opposite corners, right? And then you have like baseball fields. So it really, there's nothing around it that really works with it. So that's why if you were going to pursue that route, it needs to be something of a specific quality and an isolated quality. Further, you have to have their participation in it, because with this whole thing being there, there is a mechanism, I'm sure you guys have read in the ordinance, where, if 60% of the owners complain, we have to at least consider an alteration. We're not mandated to make that change, but we have to at least consider that change. When you have one that's landmarked and they say no, well, that's 100% of the owners there. So, you would have a harder time with that.
So I think we've got a property, at least the one I'm thinking of, is the Hermitage, for example. I
Correct.
think
Yeah.
that applies to everything you just said.
Right.
However, you also said that property owner has to be in agreement with this. So it's not up to us to designate that
They-
without their authority.
You can, but again, you would have 100% of the property owners complaining that they don't want to be in the district.
It
So,
becomes a lot more difficult.
Okay,
yeah, I would think you would really want their participation.
yeah.
Granted, someone could buy the property down the road and be like, well, I don't want it to be landmarked, so I'm gonna complain. So
Yeah.
there are always gonna be some issues with a single property landmarking. It's not insurmountable, and I just want you guys to understand that, it should be for very exclusive properties like the Hermitage, for instance.
So in my world, I live by the requirement of defensible decisions, and without Martha Shea's express permission, we shouldn't even really consider doing that, in my opinion. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, ultimately, this is your town, so you're gonna have to make the decisions about it. So, what I would say to you is that if you think it means a lot to this community, I would say include it and have a conversation. I think that's the best way to approach it. And then if there's considerable pushback, you can make some adjustments, remove it, however you want to do. But I encourage throwing the net wider than narrower.
So let me ask it from the other side of the coin. We don't do it. And then 3 months from now, she says, hey, I really want in this because I'm afraid the prime real estate I have, somebody could buy it, tear it down and put, a 3-story apartment building there. I think we all want to protect from that, but can we do it later on easily?
Yes.
And she would be the only one. Her surrounding property owners don't have to okay this. She approaches us and says, HPC board, I would really like my property protected by this. What's the procedure then?
Yes, you can do it later. In the ordinance, it says you have the right to create new maps as you go along.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would create a map with a landmark designation, and then it would also then have to go to the city council for them to approve it.
Next question.
Yeah,
Okay.
any kind of maps have to be approved.
Okay.
Really nothing else does, but the maps do. So you would create a map with a specific isolated spot.
Okay. Deborah, did you hear all that very well?
Oh, what's
Not
that
very
say?
well. I heard that we
What's that
can
say?
landmark locations, but it requires the owner approval and a 60% majority if there are multiple houses within that area. Is that correct? Is that a nutshell?
Yes. But we don't have Martha's express consent to add her in for the Hermitage.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. Like, it's super hard. Like, I get like every other word.
Sorry, and I'll speak up a little bit.
Turn her so she
It's not
can.
you, Jared. I think it's the mic on the laptop.
Oh, okay. Well, and I think something that, particularly if she's put so much love and care in the building, I mean, landmarking
include
it
it.
like
I would
this.
landmark it.
She would say no.
I would
Landmarking
landmark
it just like this would give her a sense of protection for the future.
Yep.
Knowing at least there's one layer of people where they can say, no, you can't buy it, tear it down and put it in a Target.
Martha said no?
You know what I mean?
I would be shocked if she.
Because the
would
only
say
other
no.
protection she would have on
Me
the
too.
property would be an easement or covenant.
Yeah, so essentially we've got nothing other than this.
Correct.
So then, and like this, I would think that this applied, Carol Morton
Yep.
just replaced, how many windows? 12?
16.
16? She replaced vinyl windows with 16 6/6 wood clad windows. So her house, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, then she loses her house too. The smaller we go, which, I mean, I understand. And we have to take this map and it has to be approved by town council. I get that, but
I agree.
her house, Cliff Street, Franklin Avenue.
The
So-
stone house that the Daughters of the American Revolution have been working on.
Yes.
The seminary, the first house that was built in Brookville. There's a lot of different ones you're losing.
I know.
It's like the one down along the river, the
one
big
right over
house down
there.
there that
Is it Martha's?
Dan and Paula have down there. That big house has been there forever.
Governor Ray's house right over here.
It's gonna be really difficult. We're gonna have to
It's,
spend a lot of time going around town finding out which ones are the
But I
very
guess-
historic ones if we do it house by house.
I think it has,
True.
like,
Well,
like Jared said, I think it has to have like
when you
extreme
incorporate a
historical
bigger area in the map.
factors. So just because Carol, and it's not that, sorry, it's not that
That would
I,
be the national history. I mean, that's a local, how would it happen? I don't agree with that.
I mean, I would be okay with whatever you decide in landmarking every property we just said, but I don't know that that's feasible. I just don't
I don't
know.
know either.
And
It'd be-
I'll talk a little bit about how landmarking versus a district, how they also work. So with
So
landmark,
if we ought to landmark certain ones, then the owners would need to be notified and then approve of that, correct? And is there a timeline that has to be done by in order
grabbing
to
the
get the grant
ordinance.
money? Like,
I'll
does
be
that
right
have to happen fairly quickly? Or can we suggest the map, they approve, and then pull those people out if they say no?
so I'll answer a couple of those in order.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I
He's
apologize.
gonna answer.
No, I'll get closer to the mic here. So as far as your sort of timeline for the actual map, I believe that the deadline Okra has set is by the end of the month. Is it the end of the
I
month?
thought it was June 30th.
Maybe it's, yeah, okay, June 30th.
I thought. But
So we have to have something in place by then. As far as doing the sort of landmarking idea, you're not required to have their participation. I think it would be a mistake not to do it, not to have their participation, or at least have the conversation with them. You can go ahead and do it, but I think having more willing supporters would help. And I think too, one thing you have to remember is that landmarking protects just that building. So you could have a great building and then everyone could put up 3-story garages all around it and there's no neighborhood integrity. Whereas when you have the whole neighborhood included, then you have much more control of management of how that neighborhood changes and evolves over time. So those are just keep that in mind too, that landmarking is just protecting that single isolated project, property. I hope that answered some of those.
Something came up on there.
I can, running out, because I scheduled it for, I had to put a time limit on it.
Well, in the meantime,
Yes, so if it kicks me off, I can just jump back on the same link. Usually it'll let you just hop back.
Okay. Go ahead, guys.
no, I was gonna say, what do you think, Kathy? You're on landmarking without consent.
Can this map be approved and can areas be designated at a later date and brought on?
Yes.
So can it be approved now to expedite the situation and then add them on after you have their permission and go through the proper channels?
Yeah, as Jared just explained, we have to then present that to the council. They have to agree to that. I don't know that they would have any issues, but especially if the property
We're
owners.
looking at an ordinance, aren't we?
I'm sorry, Joe.
Are we looking at a resolution every time we do it, or an
Yes,
ordinance?
Yes.
Yes.
An ordinance.
An ordinance, I thought so.
Changing the map, adding that property,
So this process would just repeat.
unless you went to all those people at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't
And
like that
I can see what,
idea.
you go.
I don't like it either.
Pinpoint,
I don't like
they're
that
gonna be
idea
in and
at
out,
all.
in and out, in and out
Yeah.
all the time. You're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's just gonna
And if
cause.
you then go into the property selling, well, you gotta look at the proper selling for a minute, and then they're gonna come in there, and all of a sudden, well, is this one adopted in, or is it not? And it'll make a difference on selling that property. Well, I don't want any part of this, I'm staying out.
I'm not crazy about the landmarking idea either.
No, I didn't either.
I think it would be a shame to not have them, but I don't see, in my mind, it's not practical.
I think we have to come up with a
Yeah, I think.
designated area in that area.
Yeah, I agree. So, Kathy, your thoughts on this? Deborah expressed an interest to get to, what is that?
The gas station at least, like, because you're losing all those houses that are from, which, let's be real, like, if you were going to expand the town and change things, from that gas station coming towards my house down would be the way you would go, right?
Right.
Like, because
Right.
that would open up all that area as you start to come to the town.
Is that
So I think-
What street is that? Is that 12?
Sorry.
What street is that, Deborah?
Don't ask me streets. but I
That's
can
all right.
Look.
12?
I thought it was 10 or 11.
We're on, is
think
it
it's 12.
10,
Well,
11?
You got 12th and then you got Connersville Avenue, so.
Is it Pavey's at 11?
Yes.
Okay,
So it's 11th Street?
Yeah.
that's 11.
Okay,
Eleventh Street.
so we're
Well, the big
talking,
house across the street though, that's 12th, isn't it? The big wood frame.
Because, I mean, you've got all those beautiful
governors.
old homes right there, like, in a row. On both sides, honestly.
Well, I'm just gonna project this.
I would concur with that. If you're gonna start down here at St. Michael's and includes 2 whatever, that daycare, which is formerly known as,
The Freeze House.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
In
don't
my
think it still
opinion.
has the gas station. I mean, if it does, it'd be great because there's some on the other side, but as long as it hit that greenhouse across from me, like
I
on
agree.
that side, like directly across it,
So you're
I think
going
that would
from-
cover most of those houses
You're going
right
from
there.
3rd to 12th?
And yeah, and I think Cliff
Question mark.
Street needs to be a
It's
part of it
12.
too.
I on it.
'Cause the-
I do too. And this is just my opinion. You guys don't have to take it, but I like the idea of if you're going to do Cliff Street, you may as well include Franklin Avenue because it's on the backside of Main Street, just like Cliff Street is. So
Yeah.
this is my proposed area with all this plus Cliff and Franklin up to.
I agree.
The houses going down 10th Street, was I wish I should have had John Newman come. I think 10th Street was originally Main Street. That is where all the bigger houses, and if you notice, those are really nice houses on 10th Street. I mean, those are all very,
I'm confused. Where's 10th?
It's the next
10th is where Vanover's,
yeah,
Vanoven's.
And your map can T.
you can.
It just can't skip streets.
Yes.
That would have to be separate districts.
Yes.
So you can have
What about-
Main Street as a district, then if you wanted to do Cliff Street as a district, but you can,
And then,
Okay.
and then we
That's
have,
good.
and then we go as far back to, well, years ago, well, the Webb House, you know,
Oh, yes.
That's back here by me.
yeah.
So you
Yeah,
would have
there's
to
a lot
go.
of lovely homes back. I
Where's
don't
Cliff?
know, I mean, of historic value, I'm not just saying nice homes, they're old historic homes.
Is that High Street back there?
Moran and
Canal and-
10th and,
Not
I can take my street.
That's okay. I'm not good at streets either. Don't worry.
gosh, I thought it
Yeah.
was.
Don't you worry.
So,
Oh, you are.
What is that?
is our road?
Canal Street.
Canal this way? Is it Canal goes in front of your house?
Canals is right in front of my house.
Okay.
And then Moran, and then 11th Street is down a block from
Oh,
that.
here's the.
I think it's
Actually,
10th.
Can we
And
just
see,
do,
he's,
whole
Webb is
town?
actually,
He's
he
connected.
sits back there
whatever
in
you
a
want.
corner to
It's just-
himself.
they won't pass it?
And the street looks like
I
a
mean,
street there.
we
That's not a
already
street,
know
that's
what
his
they'll
drive.
That's probably Canal. Is that Canal? That
I
comes
think-
out
No,
of
Canal Street
his house?
would run into
In my opinion.
Rosenberger's old house.
Okay,
you're-
okay.
I know.
You know, that went in with the hill and down in,
What are we?
so I think we have to keep in mind, at least the two members of the current town council have been pretty vocal that, well, several of them, not more than two, that they won't accept anything other than Main Street.
And I will say though, I would fight for that. If you believe that Franklin and a couple of these.
If you choose to do, sorry, if you choose to do that, then and we're on a deadline, then they're choosing not to have that money, and then.
There you go,
Yeah.
that's a good point, Deb.
Well, the thing,
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's not like we're listening and we're coming up with some different ideas and we hear what they're saying, and I think that we're trying to come up with a one-way solution so
Yeah.
that we can ensure that our town receives those funds and that those building owners are able to improve their properties, which is going to help all of us. So I think that would be not a good choice.
I think that you, in my opinion, sorry, that you fight for it. If you think that just more than Main Street needs to be in your district, then you fight for it. I mean, worst case scenario, they say no. You go back to the drawing board. But we have until June 30th. We can create the ordinance without those, without the verbiage of the designation where it says like from the East Fork to the West Fork, whatever. You can create the ordinance just without that verbiage, and then all you have to do is go back there and edit that for whatever is approved. I'm not saying wait till last minute. I'm just saying everyone here is very passionate about it not just being Main Street because we're losing out on some historical properties. So it's just my opinion, but I would go for more than just that. Even if you don't think they're going to. You can always go back.
Maybe I'm a pragmatist, but I think we ought to take what we can get and then cross that other bridge when we come to it.
I don't think it'll ever come back up, but they'll allow it.
Well, I don't know,
I'm
but
with Deb, since they were on a deadline and they want it to pass, they might have to make some compromises. We've already gonna compromise a lot of
So-
what we really want on there.
somebody, do you guys know if we present a map and re-present, they reject and re-reject, where are we at? The deadline is here. Now, we still don't have a map agreed. What happens to that grant money?
And the town pays back $2 million.
What's that process?
Yeah, that would be a
So that's my
conversation.
point. Like, they can't say, I mean, they can come and send it back to us and change it, but they can't say no. That would be a rash decision, and financially would be detrimental.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense why we need to just go with that territory if we're wanting a larger territory. Like, and I think that the consensus with all of us is that we want a larger territory for the right reasons, which is to preserve our Main Street area, which does not just include buildings that are commercial. That includes all of the home counties.
To maintain our historic region, not just, not our Main
Correct.
Street, yes.
Correct. Like, I think that that's.
And we are
I think
we are making a lot of compromises. If, you know, they just want Main Street, we want the whole area. I mean, there has to be compromise on both sides.
I agree. It's called think win-win, and I think that's, we're all wanting the same thing. It's just we have different versions of what that looks like.
I think at a minimum, I would like to see it go up to include the large greenhouse directly across the street from Pavy's and Deborah's house to the south. I think, to me, that's a realistic goal.
Yeah.
I think two of them already made a motion and seconded the motion that they would accept that. That's two members.
Are you just talking straight up and down? Well, then we lose like the Ray House, we lose the First Church, we lose, there's just a lot of
I agree, but-
buildings up here. I think we should at least try
Okay.
and see if they're willing to compromise any, because we are compromising a lot.
All right.
If we just do Franklin Avenue, we won't get the Ray House though.
Where's that
I
at?
just think the
It's right
whole
over there.
uptown, the whole upper area almost.
Everything except the valley.
Well, we could go like, I don't know if you wanna leave out Tinkertown up in that area. But we could.
It wasn't
leave-
in, oh, I guess it
We
wasn't.
could, we
included
could
in the
take it
first.
up to where the,
We cut her off.
what was that one?
What do I need to do?
What did we
Nothing, I'll
say?
do it. What,
Up to Connersville Avenue?
where are you at?
All right, so then we
The
need
house that
to,
you need to include. What
No,
does
I
that
just
What are you
said
talking about?
the Ray House is very historic and it sits right over on that alley. It was one of the, what is it, one of the first governors of Indiana. So
When it's got that palatial window that it's,
Palladium window,
Yeah.
that's very, yeah. That's why he lost the election, because he put that big expensive window in there.
What? That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's
Yeah.
in very,
Those are the
it's in
stories
very
that
bad
interest
repair.
me. I love
yeah,
that stuff.
it is, I think
that,
it's,
well, there's a big state marker over there
Over
that
there
tells
by it.
about
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
I
mean,
don't know that it's, like you said, I don't think it's kept in good
No,
repair.
it's not in
and
good-
No, it isn't, it needs a lot of
Is
work,
it
but,
a rental property?
I got you back, sorry.
Okay.
but still, it's got historic value.
It
For,
does.
for me, I would like to pass a map tonight that I know they would approve. I don't know that we have the time to go back and forth and negotiate a map. I don't really want to put what we've already got in our pocket in jeopardy, but that's just me. I think we can get up to there. I think if we want to expand later, we have to do that later.
You don't think we could get
So we're not
like,
gonna go expensive.
like
we're
Cliff
gonna-
That's just, that's just my
His
opinion.
opinion.
That's just my opinion. I'm not here to dictate anything, but
Well, here's my thought, if we do that, what's the point of even having a historic commission? We would have nothing to do, because majority of these homes are already, keep them in the historic value, and they don't alter them. There would be nothing for us to do, so we might as well just disband.
except draw our salary.
Yeah, we draw our salary. I mean, I'm serious.
I agree. I thought that's.
I mean, what would we do?
Once every 3 years,
house up
something
here
would
pretty
happen.
much is all taken care of.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
There isn't anything to do.
I would almost try to,
I would like
And I
to,
think the goal
I would tee
goal
off.
is managing change. So if they're already managing it, then that's good for them and us, right?
Yeah, I mean, my business building, for instance, it's done. There's nothing going to change on that in the next 50 years. So that'll never come up in conversation. I don't know. I mean, then we need to actually come up with a map. So can you make some copies of this
Yeah,
so we can add things?
yeah.
Nope, your light's on.
I know, I was trying to record that,
make
but then I
copies
remembered
of,
that you are,
enlarge
so.
this. This is the one we're more interested in, not the Main
All
Street.
that, Janet.
So I did bring the meeting minutes where Councilmember Estridge and made the motion to amend to the boundary I just described, and Councilmember Campbell seconded that motion. Now, they later rescinded their vote, but it seems to me like they're amenable to that idea of bringing
they
it.
rescinded their vote.
They since
They did. John
yeah,
took his vote back.
yeah, they took it back.
But the thing that I heard, that Pug and I talked to him about, is that he said it was because he went up and down the street and everybody that had wood windows, they have to replace them with wood windows, and that's not true.
No.
So his fact gathering wasn't based on
Everything
the
back
right
with me is not gonna be in
information,
that.
so.
No.
So,
If I had my druthers, it would be the entire map. That's what I really want. I just don't think we can get that.
That's what I've seen.
I want to pass something to know that we don't put what we currently have.
I
We
don't
don't
think we
lose
can
it.
get the whole town either, like
I
we
don't
all.
either.
I don't either, but I think that if we pass just that,
You know,
They're not
any
gonna go back
protection of the
and change
Hermitage
it.
down in there.
No.
I think you
Not
could
gonna
at
get any
least,
protection
you could
of
at least
the
include
museum.
Street, Franklin Avenue.
But that's,
there's a lot up here.
Joe, you,
And
That-
the little
and that-
cemetery here, you're not
you know,
gonna
the-
protect
Oh, I
that.
know.
The church.
You're exactly
and
right, but
St.
that's
Michael's
the-
Church, their convent, none of those
Well,
historic
take
things
everything
will
to
be,
Fairfield Avenue.
none of those would be
that's-
on there.
but see, that's what the council members are not considering. They're not even open to the idea of protecting those areas. So they're never going to change their minds. I think rather than trying to fight now, I think, if Cliff Street wants in, I think the people at Cliff Street need to petition us, and then we vote them in at that point.
Hold on, I have 2 more pages.
I just don't think it's realistic to get them to come and meet us halfway. I just don't think they're going to, based on what they've said publicly.
Well, if they had their correct information, they might, because one of the people going around and surveying them had wrong information.
Yeah. So, we're gonna have to come up with something, no question.
Paul, I would like to add another point for consideration.
Sure. I think you only allowed 2 minutes, though.
Oh, God.
How
I
fast?
forgot about that.
All right, so, Okra with the Preserving Main Street grant, it's been proven that a local historic district preserves the integrity and the value of the properties that are in the local historic district. In other words, the property values stay the same or go up, right, Jared?
They perform compared to other non-districts, they perform better.
Better,
Yeah.
right.
There's no guarantee that they're gonna go
Right.
up, but if others are going up, there's a much higher chance that these are gonna, go up at
Right.
an even higher rate.
Yeah, and in the recession, those properties in the local historic district, they lose less of a percentage of value, and they recover quicker after a recession than other areas not in the local historic district. So the reason why Okra wants to have the downtown historic core as part of the local district is because the state is investing $2 million in Brookville, okay? And the local historic district provides a protection for their investment. All that suffices to say, our reporting district, we have, Main Street Brookville has a $100,000 revolving loan fund for building improvements. Okay? So, same point. We would like to have, whenever we invest in buildings, we would like to be able to be protected, that our investment protected, right? Main Street's investment. So, Main Street, as a minimum, we would like to see our reporting area as part of the local historic district. If it's not, it's your all's decision, if it's not part of the local historic district, like the Court Street area, then what we will do is we will have to consider if we will use our revolving loan fund for improvements in those buildings. That will be our call.
Yeah, Nancy, I couldn't agree with more things that you said, but those arguments have already been made and presented and rejected. People they're just not receptive to listening to reason for the most part. I still go back to what the council members are saying.
Yeah.
They're just not willing to open their minds and hear
Yeah.
what we have to
No,
say.
and I understand that. I understand that, but I'm just wanting y'all to know
Yeah.
that that's gonna probably be what it will impact our decision as to how we will be using our revolving loan fund for what buildings.
All right.
And that could be a really powerful and transformative loan program, so thanks for mentioning that.
So, Janet, make your suggestions.
I brought highlighters.
Let's map it.
Did you say that people
I
on
highlighted
Cliff
this, I'm
Street
sorry.
were from,
I'm gonna use pink.
Yep, go right ahead.
So,
No.
my proposal would be
Somewhere.
go with what they've already said they will support. Take that up to here. To right here.
First Street?
And then up here too, I'm assuming.
Nope. This is Deborah's house right here.
It's gonna go up to 11th Street.
But
The
where's the big,
CVS.
yeah, where's the big greenhouse?
That's CVS. The big greenhouse is right here.
Across from Denver.
Yeah, that's,
This is Connersville Avenue.
yep.
Okay,
This is
and
where I think Bev Kolb lives. I'm not sure who owns these places.
Tim
Are we gonna come
River.
Yeah,
across the
Timber.
street? And pick up the,
Yeah, these houses would be included, so
okay.
that's what I would
But
like
not
to see.
these.
And we're not gonna get any of the houses on the
sorry,
back
Deborah?
side.
What's
Say again, Deborah?
Are we going to pick up the schools as well, like the old high school, the Brookville High School, and those buildings, or no?
Not unless you take Franklin Avenue. Which I would. I mean, that's, it's not my vote, but that's exactly what I would do. I would take Cliff Street too.
Yeah, I think Cliff Street for sure.
Then what about the Brown house and?
Well,
That's just me. I mean, but you all, I mean, you don't have to agree. I would definitely have a conversation about it and see what
Just
you.
right here.
this one,
Right back here.
Cliff.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you could always run Cliff down from where that road is by my house, whatever that is, 12th Street, and then just run it down Cliff if you didn't want to do the houses back in the area where Joe and them live. Like, I think there's some great houses back there, though.
Well, they
Me
do.
too.
They got some really nice houses back
Me
there.
too.
Right. That little blue one next
And
to
I
you
can't
guys
remember
is
the gentleman's
beautiful.
name that's put so much in the front of his house to make it really presentable. The nice concrete work out front, entering into his big house.
I talked to 3 of the people on Cliff. 2 of them thought they were in and were happy. The other guy didn't say one way or the other. He didn't care because his house is already done. So I don't know that you'd have an argument with Cliff. I don't know that you wouldn't.
I know Rachel Van Oven wants it. And I would say every other house from this side. Or no, Carrick's, I'm sorry, Carrick Troyer. I lied, I'm sorry.
But her husband paused.
But Dave does not.
I don't know, but that's what he told me. So there you got a fight on Cliff potentially. So
Come on, Deborah,
I just
sorry.
don't think we can get into a long protracted negotiation. in
Yeah,
my
if you
opinion.
don't
I
have
can hear you
time.
okay, but
I fight the opposite of
Do you
that.
want to try to fight
I'm
for
on the
Cliff,
other-
Deborah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Sorry,
would.
Deborah.
So I'm gonna put,
And Franklin. I'm
I
fighting
would
for
too.
Franklin.
And I
okay, Janet,
would-
you're orange here, so you want from here.
I want the whole uptown area.
I think that also Deborah and Janet
Well,
had a good point.
define
Like,
it.
You, hate to say this, but it's,
do we have the Hermitage on there in seminary?
no, that's what I'm
That's picking
saying.
and choosing certain places. We haven't even gotten into that.
I would
Yeah, sorry.
leverage what you
The
have.
Hermitage is like major for me. Like, I think that, and yeah.
I agree. I would leverage, I would go bigger. I would not just do Main Street. I wouldn't. And again, worst case scenario, they say no, okay, come back again.
Well, that's fine.
Something
We
has
need
to
to
be
draw some things on a
approved by
map so
June.
we can make a presentation. And we have to be able to vote.
I don't know which street.
I'm not saying we need to get it
Where's
Yeah.
this minute, but we are on a time crunch. So we
So
need to
where are
keep
we
moving.
gonna get the big battle here at? I can't imagine.
For up to Main Street, or up to 12th and 11th?
11th and 12th.
I don't think that's gonna be a battle. I
That's
think we can get that.
Okay, and what about Cliff?
I don't know.
Because that's right,
I say fight for it.
man, I can't believe that they.
I'd even
fight
say,
that.
I would, and this is just me, you don't have to listen, but I'd fight for Franklin Avenue too. If you're gonna go on this
Yeah.
side of Main Street, you may as well go on this side too.
Yeah, I agree.
And even if,
I agree, at least
Like,
that
I
much.
mean, there's so
if
much
not-
history down through
I know,
here.
and on 10th Street, where's that at? Where are we at? 8th, 9th, 10th, where's that? That's 11th, so this must be 10th. There's here's the old Brookville, is this on 10th?
The school?
Yeah.
The old Brookville
That's 10th.
College.
This
I
is the
mean,
old
I'm
cemetery.
just saying, you could go this way too. You can't pick and choose, like Jared said, you can't just pick the Hermitage area. You'd have to make it its own district, but you can
And then we
tee
have-
off of
and then
these
we have the
streets.
Can you go
cemetery-
to the alley and not go past the cemetery?
What?
I think so.
Yeah, I would think so
Can
too
you
if
go
it's
to the
connected to.
alley? It would take in the Ray house, wouldn't take in the church and the cemetery.
Why don't you want to take in the old
Because,
stone?
well,
in all
I'm thinking
honesty-
the other houses on the other side of the street. There's houses along, I don't know that they would be in favor.
Do you really need to include the church in the cemetery? I don't think anything's gonna be developed
Yeah,
inside
true.
the cemetery.
That's
It's already protected.
That's true.
That's why I was just thinking the alley.
Yeah, which is where, I'm sorry, I'm all mixed
The
up
alley
here.
would be right here. It's actually called High Street. We always call it
So
an
what
alley.
happens with the
So Kathy wants to add that.
museum down there?
The
So
cemetery?
where
That
else,
takes
Kathy?
that takes in the Ray house.
I mean, you can't get that put in right
I'm not
away
sure
with
that that church is
the.
historic, but,
The only reason I'm thinking on that, she was mentioning about the state money that we do there, to get in, but the historical society itself can just go, I mean, there's nothing there, other than it would be nice if we could come out some way where we can get the state help support those. I mean,
What does he mean?
there's very little money
What's he mean,
to
Nancy?
keep the,
What does he mean?
that, museum,
He's, sorry, he's-
The seminary.
and the seminary and the,
or did you say
Martha's
your
Hermitage.
historic,
That's okay.
what is it?
I mean, I can
I'm on the
clarify, but.
Yeah, they
I
take
think he
care
was
of those,
talking about
correct?
the-
they
Seminary?
take,
that's-
no, they,
Okay.
there's been a lot of personal
It's not
donations,
state.
They had no money.
but we need,
So where else did you want to add, Kathy? Let's
Well, that was
stay
my
on
thought.
task here.
That was my thought. I would like to see that, and maybe something can be put into that Ray house, because it is very
And where's that
historic.
located?
That's right here.
It's just right,
Oh, okay, so that would, I'm sorry, that
Behind the
encompasses
church.
both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to bring it back up this way
The
then?
historic
so what
tour.
street is that then?
Because here's the, this is High Street.
Okay.
We always consider it an alley. It runs to the west side of the cemetery.
When we did the historic tour that Julie put on, and you go with the buggy ride and you go all around town to those historic houses. I don't know which ones those all were.
I
on
can't
the
remember
pamphlet.
either. I do remember that one.
But I know
but-
they're in the valley, I know they're,
What else?
I hate to like not include those.
Are we highlighting Franklin Avenue? Did we already highlight it?
I did not.
Okay.
You went.
Do they have it back there in the Catholic Church, is any of that back in there?
Nope. That's all outside. The Bracken Hill.
Yeah, we
is
forgot all about
outside.
Bracken Hill back there, all that should be protected.
You'd have to go
You'd have all
all
those
the way down
houses in
St.
between there.
Michael's, up Weber's Lane, come back to High Street, come back to Fourth and go up, is what if you were gonna encompass those two. But I don't know what's down here.
So wait a minute. So there's.
Sorry.
Is this Owens Corner or is this?
It says it
Cliff.
somewhere. Wherever Owens Corning is, it says it
Oh,
somewhere.
that's Ed Knett's building. That would be here.
You see, that's just another thought I just had. They didn't have historic preservation. We lost like down in the canal basin, all those historic buildings that we have pictures of, but they're all gone because there was no protection.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some of those pictures.
Yeah,
On the
no,
mansion where CVS is that used to be here.
The Shirt Mansion. Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that this week.
Would, if you bring in Cliff Street, would that run behind where that was, Deborah?
yeah, but it's gone
It's
now
gone,
because there
but-
was no historic there was nothing to protect those,
Yeah.
all that history. All along down by the canal basin, I mean, there was so much down in there.
So,
Hold on, Paul.
so this
You're
would be
using blue.
McDonald's. So you guys are proposing, because down over the hill,
There,
this
is
would
there
be the
not much
VFW.
there?
There's really
Okay,
no houses
okay.
on this street.
Okay.
But this would include where, what's his name? Eddie Knett's daughter.
Oh,
Cindy.
no, Carrie.
Carrie and
Oh,
her
Carrie.
husband. I think
And
this
then
is
Pat
Johnson's,
Johnson's is that
the
one right
corner.
there.
I don't know who this one is, I don't remember. But that would put them in.
Okay.
So to add that, then go north to Cliff to catch them all the way up
On
to,
both sides?
yep, that would catch them. That would be where Curtis and Zach rebuilt it, or just built that house. Take that up to 11th, which would be where Deborah lives.
What about,
Is that what you're proposing?
what about back in there?
About Webb,
Yeah,
I don't think he would even vote for it.
But
Is the building worth saving?
The house
Is the
is,
building worth
yeah.
saving?
Yeah, it's a very nice place.
and
Sometimes you have to
again,
make the tough choices. then.
again, I would put Franklin
Because who
Avenue.
knows who
I
comes
would.
next and buys the house, right?
it was, yeah, it
Yeah,
was,
we need that
Yeah.
property, because he,
I don't know
But-
all
house
the,
means a
Yeah, you're
lot to us.
putting in.
I don't know all
I know
the
I am.
history on it, but I know it's very old.
I
and
understand.
very Grand, yeah.
But I'm hoping, I mean, but I guess I'm looking at it
my
as,
house, I tell you,
this is
the one right
your
next to
guy,
Webb.
you're gonna
You want
present
your
this
house
map. If
on
they
it.
say
Back
no,
there.
okay, present it
Mine's in,
again.
uh,
What are they gonna do?
the
Say
third
no
one.
and forfeit
Well, put
$2
yours
million?
on there, too.
I doubt
Get your neighbors
You know?
to vote it in.
Well, I mean,
That's
I
just
really,
me.
my neighbors,
I would-
actually, I don't think I
I'd
have a
go for
problem,
it.
other than
I
I
would
don't
include-
have a problem down
I don't
on
have a
11th
problem
Street.
with doing
corner
Franklin
up there.
Avenue.
See, he's saying he knows his neighbors won't have a problem, so what street would you put in on there then? I think the more we can get
But it's
in, the
not,
better.
I do too,
the
Jared.
vote isn't up to the neighbors unless the neighbors go convince the voting members on the council. And so far, they haven't done that.
Well,
So
they've
they
only
seem-
had one vote, and that was
Well,
like,
the
that was
council
like a
will have to come up
heated
and have-
session.
Yes.
Put on a-
So maybe
on a voting
maybe
ballot,
they'll rethink
in or
and
out.
I know.
realize that it's not such a bad thing, and it's good for our town.
It's just, we've been working backwards this whole time, and then to find out that the map isn't even legit, like, this is probably worst case scenario where we're sitting right now. However, I think that the right people are in the room to make the decision to encompass and protect what we can.
So
While we
we
can.
We really do
propose
need to
this
protect
map that
what's out there,
includes
otherwise you're
Franklin
gonna lose so
Avenue,
much.
and then you get
That's what I-
massive
I mean,
people
the
on
history
That's
Franklin
an
side.
Avenue
example,
that
I
are
was just
against
telling you,
it.
oh, we lost already.
right back
You
there
know,
where we
and
are.
all
Then
that
you're
stuff
But
down
then what
there.
happens?
Is
listen,
is
then what
Franklin Avenue
happens?
worth saving?
Absolutely.
I mean, the reality is, you guys are in charge of submitting the map to them.
Yes,
So remember that. So you're the one that provides them with a map.
yes.
So I would say, were it me living in Brookville, I would be ambitious on this first submission.
I would too.
I would go for as much as you want and as much as you think is important. Is there going to be backlash? Of course there's going to be backlash. Even in the most receptive communities, it's going to happen.
Even if you just did Main Street, there's gonna be backlash.
Sure. But so at the end of the day, you have to ask, if we lost everything on these streets, would that change the fabric of Brookville? If the answer is yes, I think you have a duty to include those. But that's a question for you, because they can always bounce it back and say, well, we're not gonna approve this. So then you have another discussion. Because at the end of the day, something's going to have to be approved. If it's something worth fighting for, I don't know that starting at the minimum is really playing your best hand.
I agree.
If your actual interest is in protecting the fabric.
Yeah, I don't think at minimum's the best time. I think we need to add two to try to get it the first time through. Then you have negotiating. I don't look for them to accept it right off the bat. I look for the negotiating part where we can sit down and
Okay,
we understand, but we need to explain why we come up
one
with
more
that.
meeting in May.
Thursday.
They have 2 meetings in June. So you have basically three meetings.
Yes.
That you can deal
And
with
it-
before the
And
deadline.
again, I can get the ordinance. That's the most, really, to approve the map, it has to come with the ordinance. I can have all that ready, just not with the designations, like the West Fork and East Fork or whatever. You just leave that part blank until we get the map approved.
Can I ask why they already voted on a map? If it wasn't really their thing, because they have to wait till we present it, but it sounds to me like they've already made up their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that was decided in the meeting, we're saying it's only gonna be this to this, none of that works because it violates their own ordinance. The ordinance says that HPC provides the town
Yes.
with a map.
You decide.
Right.
So,
If
I
they
mean,
deny it, that's okay. You come right back. They deny it, you come right back. That third time, something has to be approved.
All right, let's get back to the map.
Well, let's go back to the whole thing. Let's present that again. That's my thought.
We already
Why
know that,
not?
we already know that's a non-starter.
How do we know?
They've already said no.
Well, they already said they have a designated area that they said that's what they're gonna approve, and we're gonna compromise.
I guess
So we're gonna
we
go
can
back-
vote on that if you
They
want.
went as small as they can go, or we'll just put the whole map.
Why did they bring HPC into effect? Why did they get that, other than they wanted money to help do the town? So now we've got a leverage too. Are you gonna dissolve what you put in here to help the community, the main street? Or are you gonna turn around and let it fall on its face, and you're gonna pay back all the money?
People opposing it the voice of the whole community, or just a few chosen people?
It never is. It's
And
always
that's what-
the squeaky
that's what
wheel.
governing-
Doesn't matter, that's where they listen. Let's
That's okay.
present a map then, let's be ambitious.
Well, let's
What
put
do you wanna
in
do?
Franklin Avenue.
I vote the whole thing.
All right, what do you vote? Franklin Avenue, where's Franklin Avenue?
I
So,
don't think we'll get the whole thing.
here.
do you want, so, do you want to include the houses on the
That's what I
east
want.
side of Franklin
It's hard to
Avenue?
go up,
Minimum,
but to come down,
So to do that,
you include.
This is the whole thing. Yeah.
'Cause if you
so
start at their
this, the
line,
high school
if
would,
you start
well,
this
the
close to
government
their
center
line,
would be
There's no negotiating.
outside of
power.
that if we just do Franklin Avenue.
Right.
That
I
takes
agree.
the west side of
It's your
Franklin.
call, but
That's my
you have the
side.
leverage.
So if you want to keep the
We do
government
that.
center in,
You do.
then you gotta go over
They're
there
actually
to High Street.
That they do, but the reality is it has to come through you. Well, where,
Wait, where's the government center?
What do you think, Deb?
No, she said I'm out of.
The whole thing? Would that get,
Yeah, I think the whole thing, I mean, honestly,
It has to be done
I don't remember what
by
street
June
it is.
30th,
The street
so.
my grandma Weber lived on, all those houses between Main Street and the street grandma
that's
Weber lived
Fairfield Avenue. I think the whole,
on. Where Ballpark Hill is, they're beautiful homes back there.
I think we should do the whole thing and start with the leveraging again and let them,
Yes. she doesn't
because
have to
they
be there.
presented us with a very, very, very small area.
Yes, Thursday.
And we'll go back with our large area.
She just has to go.
I don't think we'll get the whole thing, Janet.
You know,
Did
no, I don't
but
think
did
you'll
they
get the
think
whole
they
thing.
would get that?
But you know, you start out, you gotta, if you don't go, if you try to go here
You
and
gotta go
build,
bigger. You
it's a
gotta
lot
go bigger
tougher fight.
than this. But we're not gonna get the valley.
But they're gonna wanna
We can
get it
try.
settled.
Well, I would hope. They have 3 meetings.
I mean, again, you mean, you have
Fairfield
to,
Avenue is what I was saying, sorry, I had to look it up.
and
Fairfield.
again, you do have 3 meetings, so if you go into the first one knowing they're not gonna accept it, that's okay, but what you've done is you've made a statement that you think that this whole area as a whole is important,
It's valuable.
knowing that you're probably gonna lose the battle.
Right, the whole town, yeah, it's all
So
historic.
we need to abreast ourselves, what are we willing to give up? And try to, do, you know, and, cause, you know, for every push, there's a shove coming.
All right, let's draw some lines.
Paul, would it help to have a bigger map? Or is this one fine?
It would, yes. We can make this work, because this is not gonna be a final version anyway. We're gonna have to copy on to something else.
That's okay. As soon as you draw the lines out, I'll get it together for you.
No. I'll,
So you want Fairfield now?
Okay.
Where's Fairfield? That's over
I was just saying,
Sorry, thank you.
by the ballpark hill, right?
Yeah. It's
So you wanna
from the
bring it-
top of the ballpark hill,
Color
right,
haven't I used? Purple.
to
There's one here.
101.
They're gonna accept, I think they would accept the ballpark. They fought for the ballpark after they set it afire, and they wanted to restore it to community. So I don't think they would leave that area out.
But
They
to
already
put the
did.
line on Fairfield Avenue, it's outside the boundary.
Pardon?
To put the line on Fairfield Avenue, it's already outside the boundary. So you're saying expand it over to the river.
Yeah, I mean, really, because that ballpark is, like I said, they fought for that.
So what's the north boundary of that? How far north are you wanting to go? We can mark that on the map.
North
I
Meadow.
proposed 11th and
We can
12th.
leave Tinkertown out.
Sorry, where's Tinkertown on the map? Is it
Tinkertown.
here?
There's not much north of it.
CVS.
The Tinkertown
Yeah,
and.
yeah.
Where is
and
he
up there by
proposing? I'm
St.
sorry,
Michael's
here?
He's going
Cemetery,
all the way
that.
to here
Cemetery.
because he wants the ballpark in,
What's the church in?
whichever that is. That's
Does
down
that need
here.
protect?
Whatever, you know, on that.
I honestly don't think we need to
Everything that's
protect that because that's already
north of it.
municipally owned ground.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's gonna
Well,
change
there's
there.
nice houses.
So we'd have to encompass all of those?
Deb said Fairfield
To
Avenue.
do that, you'd have to go to the river to keep everything on
Okay,
that side of
okay,
the street.
okay. I don't
I think
think we
that's
need
the
to worry
one
about that.
starter. Go ahead,
What about
Deborah.
the town park? Like, so if you permittage in a district, does it offer any protection from the town selling off the park and building condos there?
I would,
Without,
I don't know the answer to that. What
I
the town
don't
would have to do
either,
to sell land.
but, I mean, it wouldn't be an easy process. It's, you know, people can't just come and offer money and we sell it, if that helps.
I know, I was just thinking through that area.
Yeah.
I don't, if you want to go to Fairfield Avenue, I don't think it's worth trying to cross the street to go to the river to protect the ballpark, because I think they would have a world of difficulty selling municipally owned ground. So I don't really think you need to.
Well, why don't we
and is
put-
it really historic now that it's been burned down and
Why don't we
rebuilt?
put it in there just because,
You could put Martha's house in the
because they're
territory, is
both-
what I was thinking,
Because
you
it's
could run it down
Okay.
to that park and just circle her then.
Okay, where's the Hermitage?
what'd you say, Deborah?
Here's the grandstands.
Like if you covered the grandstands, you could
Here's
just
our
run it
backyard
down
pool.
that park and run it right around Martha's property.
Here's the
That's
pool.
true.
I mean, if you wanted it to be contiguous versus having different properties you're pinpointing. Just my thought.
So you wanted to take that out?
Where are we?
And that comes right
Where
back
are we
up here.
here? Sorry, where's it?
Well, that's
in
what we
here?
were just
Oh, I'm
discussing.
sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to
Tell
throw
me.
in up here?
Here's 12th Street. And here's,
That's right across from CVS. This is where our, what is it, Remax is.
Oh, yeah.
This is 10th. Where's 52? Is this
Right
it
here.
right here?
Right here.
Okay.
oh, this is 101.
Oh, 101. This is 12th Street.
Here's Connersville Avenue, and then you're back on Main Street.
Where you at, Joe?
Look here, I'm with
Where
the
you at?
Connersville Avenue.
Where are you at?
That would leave out
I'm right
these two
across from
houses
Canal
along
Street.
here.
Which-
That would leave out Bauman's place.
Yep,
Canal
yep,
Street
which is
comes up and
ideal.
ends right
All
there.
of that is ideal.
Where?
I think where's Webb's at? Back here. Yeah. Did they say this was 52?
And then down.
52 is right here.
Okay, so I'm setting,
Here's Canal Street.
yeah, right there.
Where's
Yeah, I set right
Jennifer
here.
and Rob English?
Right there on that.
So you wanna
This
go
one here, Joe?
around here, Joe?
That's you.
Sit right here.
Not
No, I'm sorry.
On this
Where
one.
is there?
Canal Moreland,
Where, Joe, where do you live?
on the
Here's
corner of
This one
Moreland and
here,
Canal.
is this your house or are you across the street? I thought you were over here.
I'm over here,
This one.
So Rob,
Yeah.
You're
Robin-
across from Rosenberg's, where Rosenberg's used to
yeah,
live.
Rosenberger.
Yeah, this is where Todd used to live.
Yeah, over here and I'm right on the other side of
Okay.
it.
Jennifer and Rob English just bought that house.
Yeah, they bought the one right next
Which
to.
one?
Well,
Where?
And what they're doing to that's, I mean, that'd be a show place.
It's nice.
It's gonna be
Which
fabulous.
one's
Yeah,
there?
if you
This
just
one's
follow
theirs.
up at the end, too.
Agreed.
Is it
Rob,
Sally's?
get in
Is it
and do-
Sally's
Yes.
old house?
Yes.
Oh, God, that Victorian?
Yes,
That'd be
and they're
good.
restoring it. They're
I drove
not,
by there, it's
Yeah,
beautiful. They
They
really.
got in there, just.
Sarlin's, Janet
Put
Sarlin's.
the original
Bernie
staircase
Sarlin.
back
That
in.
blue-
he did, but the original, he did all that. Yep.
Okay. so I
It's
said,
beautiful.
come down here, come down.
It's
well,
gonna be
come
amazing
down
what's done.
Connersville.
Go ahead, draw it on.
No, I want time to do it.
No.
I'm sorry,
You
dear.
go-
Tell me again.
Take your purple, go down that way.
Oh, wait, what
This
are all
is 12th
these?
Street, this is 12th Street.
Where's
That's
the,
Fairbrook.
Chapel.
Where's the driveway down to the
Is this
Legion?
this is St. Michael's right here. This is the Benusi Chapel.
Well,
That's up here. What is it? Where's the Legion?
here's Clarence Court, that's
Yeah,
George's.
it's gotta be right here.
So
Legion has to be
Fairbrook's
done.
here,
The Legion, I wouldn't say is too historic, but, so you wanna come this way with it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
To
We're doing St.
Connersville
Michael's, right,
Avenue.
and the Fry's home.
Go this way?
Are we doing
See-
the Fry's home?
That's already in the map.
That's already in. I would almost do
Here's,
this.
that's 52.
So this
Where's
is the dairy
Joe? Joe
cottage.
wants to come here to
No, how do
Canal.
you get over to him?
You take the Cliff Street side.
Oh, yeah. Can you go this way?
So has that got you, Joe?
And that
What's
house
this
that's in
street?
the back.
I don't know.
It's Sycamore.
This is where,
We're
I
in the
Connect
land.
somewhere.
was just
Yeah,
saying, one of your
Wynn lives
sisters
here.
live back here.
This is the Webb house
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That's where my sister Brenda
Well, we
lives.
probably don't,
And that's the
are
one.
these, can we
goes
just
over the
come
hill.
up Canal? Cause what's over in here?
Right
That-
here's the Webb house.
Oh, So we want to get them.
I don't know which.
This is
I
where
think he
Jerry
actually
lives?
faces this.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
Zach
what
is right
faces me?
here?
Yeah.
Over
No,
here?
Zach's over here.
Yeah.
How do you get back over here?
You just come back down here.
Okay,
You
okay.
roll this
Oh, yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, that works.
So what's
Yeah.
it,
Did
they
what's
close
it, what's
that?
in
It's
here?
bigger.
Did they
That's
close
the
that?
dairy cottage.
It's bigger.
Red Light Church,
Oh.
the gas station where
Comes in between Dairy Cottage and-
Dieter's
Yeah.
lived.
Which is, we took it all the way, sorry, Paul, we took it all the way.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, and then you guys wanted Bracken Hill.
Yep,
Let's see how we can
definitely
get
we
that.
need Bracken Hill.
Okay, how do we get up there? St. Michael's. Is it? Here's Bracken Hill right here, Paul. So it just ends there? Can it end there at Bracken Hill? It's a dead end.
Why
This is
not?
only Main Street's reporting area. That's
No,
what
I
this
think
is.
it can.
Okay.
What this,
Nancy went to go get another one.
Bible like this,
Where's 52?
well, just getting into zoning board.
this map is just the uptown. We have no down in the valley. This is no valley.
Well, they called me threatened my wife.
I just zoned out for a minute.
Deborah, you okay?
And
She looks like she's a misery, poor thing.
Yeah, at that time, I controlled the police department.
Let's just leave it like that.
My front door
Because
threatened me.
St. Michael's not gonna sell, Catholic Church is never gonna sell that ground.
They were gonna tear down the convent.
I'd be okay with that
Oh, that's
as a
great.
parishioner. Because it was just sucking us dry.
There's a lot of things we do that we don't want to do.
Pretty anti-historic.
Well, and then you got down in the valley, and down the hill, the stone wall, did we get, Bergen's house, the stone house down there, and did we get Frank Deitch's house? Those are all really
Down the hill?
historic, yeah.
Yeah,
Those are
the-
down
the-
here. Frank Dutchess is right here.
Those should be on it. Frank Deitch's is one of the older homes in
But a lot
Brookville.
of those houses down there are not. I mean, you have the old Bergen house, it's very historic, but everything around it is not.
It's not contributing.
No, I don't think
What does
so.
that, like if it's non-contributing? I thought John told me there was like 300 houses in the valley that are contributing and the rest aren't. But I can't, but then when I asked him to repeat that, he said he couldn't remember what he said. So I don't know if that, you can't just include the contributing houses, correct?
The thing
Right,
of it is
because you're
though,
trying to control through
the DAR
overall
has,
neighborhood.
the DAR has control of the stone house, right? So they're already doing
So,
historic improvements to the stone house.
yeah. So let's go back up here. What's over in this area that's really,
What is that area?
that is going to be,
Another one of Bill's was on the table. And then there's Nancy has
You can always go smaller.
That's true.
And if we can cut some of them out, then we can
I'd
give
be
them
willing to
that.
cut most of that
But
off.
let's keep this now.
All right,
Right.
everybody look at this. Any other changes you want?
Well, now wait, what's all this? We didn't do any of this.
Well, that's the valley. So this got the Hermitage inside the park.
It did get the
Well, we got
Hermitage.
the Hermitage in.
We got the Hermitage in. So basically, I mean, I'd really like to have our house on Sixth Street in, but I don't see any way to add that.
I don't mind that. Mine would
And,
be in, but
and on
I
Mill
don't know
Street,
anything else around
Nutty's
it.
house on Mill Street, because that's one of the sisters to the one on Main Street. They're
Lord
sister
God.
houses.
Oh, Lord God.
Where's that at?
You're not saying anything about that
Okay.
right now. Only, oh,
But
Lord
that is,
God.
that is one of the sister houses to the house on Main Street. I think it's a sister house to Deborah's house, and if hers is considered historic.
All right, so that takes out
They're
quite a
not
bit.
listening to me. All right, we need to put some of the valley in, so we have negotiating power. See, he's agreeing.
What about running it down that 252 hill there? Like, where, like, I don't know what that street is.
Fourth Street,
Your grandparent Burkhart's house?
Where Grandma Burkhart's house was. 'Cause I think that's the oldest house in Brookville, if I'm not mistaken.
that's
The old
Mill,
Brookville house or something.
Fourth and
And
Mill,
there's,
where your grandpa had the plumbing business in the backyard? That one?
I didn't know about that, so if that's the case, that's something new, I didn't know. But
You remember when the
that's
Burkhart plumbing was there?
The sheriff's department is down that hill right there.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking you're talking
The
about.
sheriff's.
Because you could just pull it from Bracken, right? Just pull it down that hill behind Bracken and run it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Well, we could just go,
Fourth Street Hill is what she's saying.
yeah. So you
Yeah,
want,
I think we need to come
Down there too,
and get where the Carol's house is down, get Carol's, because not only on Carol's, the old Jordan house is very
I was
historic
thinking
too.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so where's Carol?
She's at the end of Fifth Street.
Right by the First Baptist Church.
She's in like a very,
We wouldn't live down in there.
yeah, it kind of goes out by itself.
Where's
So I
Fifth?
guess
They had that trailer park down
I'm sorry,
there.
let me get it.
Oh, did you find
She's right
it?
there, right?
That's true, the rest are true. So that should be
It was
nice.
right here, I
Well,
believe.
I don't know.
That's
I believe that's
historic.
it.
640?
Yes, I believe that's it. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
That's her right
So
there.
you're
And I can
wanting to,
double check, but
how to
yes.
get there?
Where's Carol?
She's
Here.
right there.
She's
Can
640?
you just go
And
down?
then two, this one is a historic, this is the Jordan house.
It's a nice house.
That's historic. These two are very historic.
Okay, what's here right here?
But then you've got
That's
trailers.
Carol Morton.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are
Oh, yeah.
the rentals.
There's
Yeah, I forgot about
trailers, the rentals.
Absolutely.
No.
How we can get there from up here.
Do you want the area of the trailers, do you want that to stay trailers right now?
It's
that
gonna
question make
have to,
sense?
what do you do? Like Carol's house and this house, and then there's trailers down in here. I mean, you really can't do much about, you can't tell them they have to move. They.
No, you
It
can't.
used to be like a little trailer
You can't,
park.
but
at one
if someone
point.
else wants to move in a new trailer, you say, well, you can't have a trailer.
Oh, I
Can't bring
see.
another trailer in.
And there's one house right here
'Cause that
that's
would be a
really
visual
It's really
historic.
nice.
Yeah. I
That brick
forget-
house, very
yeah.
pretty brick. He just put a fence up.
Yeah. And those are all really historic homes.
Yeah, just because you
It's
have
not-
that patch
like
of,
there's the shipment houses back in that area, and there's that brick one that's off of First Baptist Church right behind it.
Yeah.
That's Carol, that's
Do we
Carol's,
have to
yeah.
go to a street
No, not that one.
boundary?
There's
Can
another
we just go
brick
to the
house
property
by
line
the flower
boundary?
shop.
Has to be straight.
A brick house by the flower shop. Oh, yeah, that's over there on
Streets much-
Sixth Street by the flower shop.
She's
That was the
Coles.
Cole's house, yeah. That's a nice one
I
too.
don't know that it's historic, Deborah, but
Oh, yeah.
I think,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I mean, it's as old.
It's
as-
Which one are
old.
you talking about?
the Cole, it's on Market Street and
So we
6th
got
and
Carol
Market.
there.
Yeah, the Coke House?
Yeah,
That-
it's a beautiful brick
But to
home.
get
Yeah,
them, we gotta
it
go
is-
all the way
it is
around.
I would.
On that map you're
Because
looking
like
at,
he
if it
said-
says NC, that is a
Yes.
non-contributing building. Everything
But
else.
how do we
Connect
do it?
somewhere.
Oh, okay. All these are not contributing. If it says C, it's contributing, meaning
Correct.
it's historic.
Dad,
But
I don't think there's any Cs on that map.
Okay, it just ends C.
NC
You're, okay, I got you, Carol.
Right?
See, like,
So
all
that
these
helps
are
you manage what
contributing.
happens
This
there next.
isn't,
That
These are
something that's
all
gonna
historic.
fit
How do I
with those
connect that
historic
with
buildings
this?
goes in there next.
What is-
instead
have to
of
go
just more
down.
trailers, because you're not necessarily controlling the.
These are-
Have to go down
appearance.
Fifth.
See, I
Controlling
think
what
you're
that neighborhood
getting
looks like.
way too big here.
no, we want to negotiate.
And I know Carol's
These
house
guys
is
aren't
gorgeous.
gonna
I went to
negotiate.
look at it for her COA.
We're not either.
We want Carol in there.
It's like you said,
We really
present
don't
the
want
map to
Market
them.
Street in there. I mean, you don't want Market
Like, I'll
Street
come
in
back
there.
later.
Where's
Besides
the
Cole's
Pelzer
house,
Where's
there's
the Pelzer
nothing.
house? Where's our house, Paul?
6th Street, we're right here, 412.
And Pug's are, yours is contributing. And you said, Pug, that garage was one of the first pumper stations, the firehouse.
I know, but that's, yes, I mean, nobody knows that but me.
Tell your story.
Nobody knows it but me.
You do
All
have
right.
to connect this though. So we
these
gotta
are
figure out how to
non-contributing,
connect that.
non-contributing.
well, they all have to be connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this big?
You can
create-
do separate districts. I wouldn't do one that small though.
What's
Okay, is this
530?
Market? What is that?
Market.
Market.
What's the five?
That's probably the
Kind of
Baptist
like
church.
stand out.
That's not
Stand out
contributing, that's
Where
new.
they're at.
See, do you see what she's saying? If it's NC,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I
not
get that.
historic. If it doesn't have anything, that has historic, that's contributing.
And just remember, when it does say non-contributing, it doesn't mean that your concern isn't always
You
over
need
what's
it,
going to
okay.
happen to that building, but also what happens next at that building.
Okay.
So like these, if you encompass
minute.
that area and they
6th Street. Okay,
say
7th
take
Street.
those out to put in new, they can't.
Not without an approved COA.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh,
Okay,
gotcha. If they, yeah, okay.
that's that little house. This is Roberts Park, I think, right here.
Yes.
On 7th Street. That's that little bitty teeny house right next to the park. This, I think, is Colb's right
Yeah.
there.
Yep, that is.
And that used to be yours, right?
It might, yeah, I used to own that.
Which that was a that was a dollhouse.
Is it contributing or is it
It's a
not?
contributing.
I hate to say it, I honestly don't see any way you can connect that realistically.
I think we could put the whole, let's take more of the valley and
But I
put
don't
it
know
in
that you
there.
want Market Street.
Mobile home, here's the Franklin County Seminary right here. We want to keep that on there.
We'll come up Fifth Street.
But there's the.
But you've got, on Fifth Street, you've
Look at all
got
these are contributing.
vacant lot, you've got,
Does it not include the seminary?
you got the seminary that ends at Long Street.
Joe, you get in here and you say,
Is there no reason why I can't go down?
It's hard.
You could go down Fifth Street.
Yep.
Is there no I'm just looking at the map, you guys have a better sense than I do. Is there no reason you don't connect that all the way down? I mean, there's a seminary down there. I mean, if that's.
seminary's on,
Fifth
yeah.
Street, you mean Fifth
Yeah,
Street?
right here.
Yeah,
It's a seminary.
Can you do it like this? Just draw the line down to Fifth
Yeah.
and not have other side of the boundary?
You can, like, Fifth Street
So it's
is your
just a quarter.
connector.
Fifth Street's my quarter.
Do that, and then, well, you'd still need to have an area connecting.
That's what I'm asking.
What's down
So
on this side?
252 there.
That's, yeah, it's 252 going out of town. There's
And then
some
we'll
nice
just,
places.
but can't you do both sides of Fifth Street and that's
That's what
where,
I'm asking.
isn't that your area connecting?
You could do that.
So we don't need to add another side boundary. So this picks up the seminary,
Yeah.
picks up Carroll.
Yep.
We got the Hermitage. What else is in the valley that is a no, that we can't resist putting in?
Where's Sixth Street, Mill Street?
If I would suggest, Paul, what you can do here is also just draw a box sort of around the properties like that, so that we see that's how it connects. Does that make sense?
Like this?
Yeah. It'll be trickier to write the map, but it's not impossible, so. Well, and you want to include the
Well, you don't want to
seminary.
go,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to pop out for the seminary. Yep, and then you can pop back in. Yep, and then just go along the back of the property
She
lines.
doesn't want in. No,
That's okay.
she doesn't want in
Who
at
is
all.
that?
That's Peg Race.
Yeah, just take it down to,
Bring it up to here. This is Carl Wise's house.
and then it would go back up
Well,
to
that's,
connect over here.
yeah, well, that's the same street. This is
that's
just the other
kinda-
side of
But
that.
he's.
Yeah, but you would have to.
Oh,
The other
it's the
side,
same
it's
way.
the other side of the street, yeah. Does that make sense?
Why do we have to do that? Because we've already got a corridor.
Well, we're doing, you gotta do both sides
Yeah,
of
do
the
both
street.
sides.
Yeah.
Well, because the problem then becomes if some house gets demolished in the middle, suddenly you've got a gap, and then this is disconnected. I think you're better off
Okay.
if you have a, because also, your argument's stronger there because you're preserving a streetscape.
Wait, what is this?
Someone can look down
What
the
is this
road and be
big
like, oh,
building
these
here?
are
You see
all
both
together.
Yeah,
Correct.
I would
That's the
go,
Baptist church.
I know these are non-contributing, but I would go all the way down.
Yeah.
Go down
Yeah,
to here. This way?
yeah. Since you're going down, that's how I would.
Where are we at here? Franklin. These,
Wait,
this is the
stop
trailer
drawing,
court.
Cause we don't want,
Remember too, this is from.
Okay, now I'm one, asking, my question is asking right now, why are we leaving all this?
that's what I'm saying.
Then we might as well go back to the whole, between the rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
They're not gonna go for that.
Okay, I didn't
I
know
think
that.
we should, no, that's
know,
not
this-
true, that's
this
not true.
area-
We're leaving this out, we're leaving this out. We're not asking for everything. We're trying to compromise. I mean, our goal is to try to protect these places and from demolition, we wanna improve.
Okay, well, back to this. So this is the trailer court. So how do I get around the trailer court?
Well, what he's
Including
saying,
or
he's saying
anything?
keep them in, because then if the trailers come out, they can't put new ones back in there.
You can
Okay.
include the whole court, or you can
You
just
mean if
include the ones
if a
on
trailer
Fifth
comes out,
Street?
you
okay,
can't
so they
replace
bring the
it? They're
trailer
not
out,
gonna like
put it
that.
in.
They would have to come in with a COA because it would be a visual change.
Yeah,
So where are we at here?
I would like for it all to
This is
change,
Irv
but-
Underhide's house.
Me too.
but I'm just saying they probably
We're
won't.
connected. That,
But I'm with Joe, I don't wanna leave all this out.
Well, one thing to
well,
remember is
I'm just
that,
asking, I'm trying, in my mind, I'm trying to think what's in here. I've got a thought in my mind,
What?
why, but it's like I'm,
It's a lot of rental
picking
properties
and
down
choosing.
through
This area of
Which was my
town,
argument to begin with. That's why you want it, but they're not.
there's a
interested.
lot of rentals in there. A lot of them. And with all those rentals, they haven't really even tried to really upkeep a lot of them until just recently, when we had the first meeting and the town council had to go back and look at their town ordinances, and they started cleaning them up. The cars are off the street, you know, and they're the trashy stuff, and they're getting the yards mowed better.
They still need lots of work down there, Joe.
No,
It's
it is
tough,
looking
it is.
better.
One thing you'll want to remember is if these are your must-haves, and you're gonna have to negotiate these down,
That's what I'm saying.
include stuff that you can live without.
That's exactly that's why I think we should include some of this.
But I do have to go.
Yeah,
And I
this
never
is-
introduced myself to people I haven't met. I'm Brittany Miller with
Hi,
Indiana
Brittany.
Landmarks.
Hey, Brittany.
Joe,
Sorry.
Janet, Kathy, Paul.
We met.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, I do have to go. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll talk tomorrow about the other event.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't want to go on camera, but I
I'm
think we
available
should
anytime.
include a lot of this.
Okay.
for
Well, your
negotiating.
property's in there, Paul, and my property's in there.
Draw 'em in.
No, I said, we're in that blank space there.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, Paul and Kathy are holding themselves out of the map.
Well, that's a good point.
I bet they don't wanna put the rentals in there up to that date.
And this is Mill.
Including
Shut up.
It's very pleasant.
So where are we at here? This is Mill. This is what Flume's old house. What's here? The next block up. This is Ratz's, Anita Ratz.
What about over
This
this
is a
way?
rental.
Now, where's the,
Because we want negotiating.
Well, I think you're gonna have to negotiate down from whatever you put
That's
in.
why I don't want to do it. I don't want to lose what we've done.
They're not gonna approve anything they don't want. So you can have everything,
Well, then,
they're
if
still gonna
that's the case,
negotiate
we're
down.
going into it, this is all we're gonna get, the yellow.
I don't think we'll get this much, but I mean, we can try.
Right. So, and remember, you're the ones that provide the maps, and they're the ones that will have to approve something in order for the grant to go through.
True.
Just remember how that works. I really think this has been a great conversation for you guys to be having, because what you're doing is you're talking through the places that matter. So when they do bounce back and say, why in the world you have this area, you're like, it's because of this, and this, and this one, and this one, and that whole street matters, right? So I think this is really great.
Did you included this?
Yeah, there's
The
no
record.
streets unless I
Okay.
go here, but I don't want to include the Pepsi plant.
Right.
Yeah, you can
The
probably
tool
just,
shop.
you can find the property lines, and we can just do the property lines. It's like I said, it's a little trickier to actually write the map,
Now, the old feed mill
but it's
was a
okay.
candy factory back in the 1800s.
which was?
The old feed
Was
mill.
anything
and
left?
Oh.
It was an ice house first.
Is that the one that looks like it was a market fairly
Yes.
recently? I like that building a lot.
It's a
Yeah,
cool
we
building.
used to own that. It was
Oh, did you?
an ice house. It was a candy factory. Feed
Candy
mill.
factory burnt, didn't it, to the ground?
Not to the
That smelled
ground.
All right.
but-
And then,
There, some of it, but yeah.
Let's think
A lot
what's
of that
over
is
here.
all
I
original.
don't think there's much of an argument for anything over here.
I don't either. And I hate to say that. It's
Mill
just because
Street?
they're all
So I
rentals.
think you're gonna put
And that's
everything
where
in.
you
I
go-
think you have to just.
You do anything with
prevent
those
some of
rentals,
this.
and boy, those guys
We
are
can
gonna
live with
that.
too. If I were on the other side, I would laugh at this and say I'm not interested.
Well, I'm laughing at this.
Yeah. I'd say that's not realistic, but we have a good argument for all this. We can throw away a lot of this.
May I suggest one thing for you?
Sure.
What if you make this projection a little bit larger? That way, when inevitably they ask you to make it smaller, then you can go,
We'll come back to this.
yeah.
So,
See if there's a way to make it larger, knowing that you may have to come back
so
and
this
edit
is
it.
the Baptist church. So
What street is this? Seventh?
that's Sixth.
Oh, that's
Sixth,
Sixth
yeah.
Street, okay.
I'm on the map at 250, so I'm going down the hill.
So this was Flume's, Anita Ratz.
There's not much there.
No, there's not.
Well, then
What's
go
this one?
There's nothing over here. These two streets are nothing.
What's this little guy? Does that kind of ring a bell? 216.
Let me see the house.
Street.
Okay, so I haven't gotten very far. Okay, got it. It was this little guy here.
Let me see.
Farther down the
Tall
street.
Hunter's old house. And that's that little house that Myers used to have.
What's this right here?
Microphone.
It's a public meeting, we need to make sure you guys can be heard on camera.
I didn't know what it was. I thought
right.
it was a tape measure. You know, those.
This is, we're filming this.
Yeah, but I thought it was one of those, what do you call it? Tape.
So are you
thing.
taking all these in here, attaching all this again and putting them up here?
Well,
You're just trying to figure out what's there?
talking about what's there.
Stella Glob's house? That's his.
Yeah, I didn't know,
This
because
one.
we got a here, but it's not closed off to,
No, that's where we were talking about trying to figure out where to go from
And
here.
Nutty's down the mill, go down the mill.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, I'm ready to get this moving. Let's go. Let's keep going. It's been 2 hours.
Well, I just want the whole thing, so I'm gonna be fighting for, excuse me.
You're fine, you're
Deborah,
fine.
where'd she go?
Oh, my computer? Oh, God.
Battery die?
Jeez Louise. That's my fault. No.
to me, this is the weakest area we got.
So that could be negotiating.
All right, how do we want to connect
Sorry.
this? Just back over here? So this is,
Let me see, okay, what's down over the hill from
well,
Main
wait,
Street?
we're down here. So this would be where Zimmer's used to live.
Yeah.
That's already in. So where do we go from here? Just
None-
straight up the hill?
Can you go back around this way, because this is real bad. I don't know where to go from there, really, I don't, Paul.
You got us.
Paul, what do you
I
suggest?
realistically think we need to just come back here.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay.
Then if we're gonna,
I just,
I say present that.
I do too.
See how far we get.
and I say, that's gonna be hard for them to figure this out.
So basically, all we got to do then is transfer this, the outer
Youth
boundary.
football, this
And
is the
draw it.
ballpark.
Jess is gonna clean it up.
I will.
Old Brookville Church and Cemetery.
Hold on, I'm getting Deb back in there. I'm sorry.
Did we get the Hermitage in there?
Yes.
Me too, Jess.
Looks pretty good, I think. I mean, we have valid reasons because of the historic properties in these sections.
I agree. Anything else?
Was that anything else on
Do
our?
we have enough here? How many is there?
I need
Total
Deb.
of 7?
Yeah. Oh, no,
Deb is-
you have enough.
We're on
Okay.
there.
I know, no.
She's not on there, is she?
I know.
No.
I'm trying to get her
She
back.
fell asleep.
Text
Poor
her.
thing.
Good thing.
This timer, 'cause I need to see her and hear her. Sorry.
Maybe.
Oh, she's here.
She back? Okay, good.
Sorry, Deb. I'm sorry, I walked away. It's my fault.
So we think we've got something. Let me take a picture of it and text it to you.
So you're gonna text it to me?
Yeah.
Are these
Thank you.
including?
I texted every one of you, I think, except for Jared. So if you all have a million texts, sorry.
I'm on silent, sorry.
Well, that's good. You're all focusing on the task at hand.
Okay. So when you look at this, Deborah, look at the outer boundary.
Okay. Are we voting or are we still in discussion?
Well, we think we've, here in the room, have kind of run its course. We just want you to see visually what we're talking about. Anything inside the outer boundary is what they're considering. or we are considering.
I'm still waiting on it to come through.
Okay.
T-Mobile, oh, there we go.
So we had a model
Okay, so let's pay attention
and the
to,
resolution.
The outer line.
This is what they didn't have.
okay, the blue, like, so it's like
They
purplish.
had that, but.
Yeah, well, it's several different colors, but
Brookville desires to
forget the
eliminate
colors
highlighted
and just look at the
areas
outer
within the
boundaries.
corporate limits of
Got it.
Brookville.
So we've kind of cut out a very large portion of the valley,
Included.
several very large portions into the valley.
Just for
We went down the
lighted
Fifth Street
areas.
corridor to
Like-
catch
But this wasn't
Carol's house.
included.
We had to
These
go
are
over to
together
Sixth Street to
in one.
make the corridor
They
work
were
a little bit,
together.
and then back up
They
to
weren't
Church Street.
included in this. So they're
Yeah,
two
I think it looks
separate,
good.
unfortunately,
Okay.
they're two separate things.
I don't see anything on it that,
All right, I think then, any other comments? Everybody ready with this? I think we need a motion.
I think we can make a
I'll make
motion
a
to
motion.
present it to the town council.
Okay.
Hold on, sorry. Who made a motion?
Deborah,
Thank you, dear.
A second?
You want a second? Sorry.
Yeah.
Joe seconds. All right, those in favor of presenting the map that we just drew to the town council?
I,
Aye.
Yep.
Sorry, don't you have to, like, reverse the first local historic district map that you passed?
I don't know.
We didn't even have one.
Since we didn't have a map, it wasn't official.
No, I mean, you did, it was a resolution.
But
The
it
motion
wasn't one that we
Resolution.
approved is what we're saying.
It
No,
was,
it was.
No,
it was
the
not.
HPC did not.
you did make a motion at your meeting to approve the map, and that motion needs to be revoked. So someone needs to first revoke
Not the
that
Okay.
motion.
Let's
I
check that.
revoke the motion.
Yes, I get it.
And then make another motion.
Everybody heard that? Somebody want to make that motion, reverse the vote on the map from last
Revoke.
October?
Revoke.
The first original.
The original map.
Revoke.
Yeah, I'll make a
Revoke.
motion to reverse the resolution map.
No, no.
Revoke it.
No, the first
Sorry.
map that was voted
I
on.
don't understand why we're revoking.
But that
it.
wasn't an ordinance, was it?
That's what
Well,
I
it was
said.
approved by our committee, not the
That
town
doesn't make
council.
sense. We said it wasn't a legal document because it wasn't approved by the board, so why are we revoking something that was never presented to a board that was never approved by a board? That doesn't make sense.
But it was a resolution.
No,
You've got to get away.
The resolution was something completely different.
Yes.
It was a motion that was approved by this board, and it needs to be, the motion needs to be revoked, and then you need to make a new motion.
So someone needs to make a motion
To
to
revoke.
revoke the previous map that was approved.
on August 16th, 2020.
I don't think we need a date, but the previous map that was
So can we
approved.
state in that it was only approved by us? Because it wasn't
But-
approved by anyone else, so like,
Well,
we're just,
You can word
so
it that way
legally
if you
we're
like.
not really doing anything because nothing ever really happened beyond just disapproving our original map,
You can
right?
You're not disapproving it, you're revoking it.
You can make,
Okay.
you can also just make the motion to have this be the updated map that supersedes the previous one.
I like that better because I feel like legally that makes more sense
Yeah.
to.
You can just make this the
supersede prior
updated map.
I like that better.
Okay, would you like to
Yeah,
reword
I think that's a
your,
good idea.
since we never completed the vote,
I can make the motion to, forgot the verbiage already, sorry, I don't.
revote?
I'll make the
No.
motion to approve the new map in lieu of the prior map that was presented, or was meant to be presented to the town board. Does that work?
Okay.
Is that legally acceptable?
Ask Jared.
Is that legally
From your
acceptable?
Robert's Rules of Order, yes, because what it is, again, it's the terminology, it's the updated map,
Okay,
right? So the other one doesn't have to disappear forever. It's just,
Thanks,
this is
Sharon.
the new one.
Gotcha.
Sure, sure.
we need a second.
I'll second.
Kathy seconds. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Me.
I said aye.
I said aye.
Jane in the post.
I see it.
Okay, motion carries. All right. Is there any comments from the public further before we motion to adjourn? Any other business?
Yes, I have a comment
Okay.
from the public. Just want to make sure that everybody knows that the actual map has to be approved by June 30th, otherwise our Preserving Main Street. If this map isn't approved by the town council at this meeting, there's only one more meeting before the 30th, I think. Two?
We talked about it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that you guys plan on meeting again outside of your normal meeting to come up with another map.
I need 48 hours.
And the second thing is
That's all they need.
since it's a little confusing at what that map looks like to someone that wasn't in the conversation for the past hour and a half, when you made the motion, it wasn't clear on what was actually included. So I just want to make sure that exactly
That's
what
good.
was agreed on by you guys is what, I don't, normally when you approve the motion, you restate the motion, but it's hard to know exactly what you guys just agreed to.
That's good.
As just watching it, so.
Yep.
We
That's
could,
my only
does
other
someone want
comment.
to
So, and the other,
say?
and the other public comment that I have is that, that I recommend that you have a map drawn up with the boundaries that is included in the ordinance
I will.
that you present to the BTC.
I will.
Yep.
Does anyone want to say out loud what those boundaries are? I mean, I know it's a little confusing, but just before we adjourn.
Yes, so the northern boundary would be Connorsville Avenue, intersecting with 12th, heading east to Fairfield Avenue to include the down the hill by the American Legion, the town park, all the way down to the Hermitage, up, what street is that?
Thanks, Paul.
I'm not sure what street is this. The street what is the name of this street? You got it on any of these other maps?
Bank Street.
Is it
Paul?
Bank? I think that's Bank. Yeah, Bank.
Yeah.
Yep, up Bank Street to intersect with Market, to go over to the, where the pool is. Up what was the street, now it's the walkway path up to High Street, and then it goes east to 10th Street, and then connects with Church Street on the western boundary of the valley area. This is really confusing. You almost have to draw it first.
I know, I'm sorry.
And then essentially it connects to Main Street and hang on, where are the eastern boundaries? I can't read these upside down. So yes, we connect to High Street, it goes over to Main and back up to the Connorsville Avenue. Then it crosses the street at 11th, where the Pavy's gas station is, goes west to Cliff, turns north on Cliff, goes west on Sycamore, south on, I believe is that Moore in there? I don't know what that little alley.
Yeah.
Then around the only road there, then it connects back with 11th Street.
Yep.
Then head south to Cliff, all the way to Progress, to include all the way down to 3rd Street. Where's the top of it?
Thank you.
Then goes east on St. Michael Boulevard to include the St. Michael campus, Bracken Hill property, and then goes back up to Court Street to the west, northbound to 4th Street to Franklin, then it goes north again to connect to the 5th Street corridor.
Thank you.
Did you get all that?
Yep, you know it.
Don't make me repeat that. All
You
right.
did a good job, Paul.
You did, I'm sorry. Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Okay.
And I will get that together.
Before we adjourn, we're not doing any COAs at this point?
No,
Correct.
there's nothing on the agenda.
Okay. We're not even doing
We're not.
anything until the map is
Yes.
approved. Okay, I just wanted to realize that.
Okay. Any other business?
So when are we having another meeting?
We won't know until after Thursday.
We'll see what the town council has to say
And they meet,
Thursday
Thursday.
at 7. So I would encourage
I'll be,
everyone to be here.
So in the end, a lot of the valley was taken out. We tried to include obvious historic properties within the boundaries of the map. We do believe at a minimum this is a good map. We hope the town council will give it good consideration.
And the next scheduled meeting, Joe, is on June 20th. That will be the June review. If it does get passed and we want to go
Are we
ahead
going
and
to
do a
go to the
special meeting,
library?
Yes, I will.
we can.
Say meet here.
I don't know where the meeting will take place. We'll have to figure that out.
Why can't we have them here anymore?
We can, but I think that the room is a little small. So the last time that we had 5 COAs, there was multiple people, so I think a bigger setting would probably be better. So we were thinking the library, but I'll let everyone know because I'll need to change some things. If we want to have a special meeting, I just need to know it has to be posted 48 hours in advance. So I just need to know. So if they meet on Thursday and you want to meet again on Tuesday, the weekends and holidays don't count either. So I need to know, let's say Friday, and then we could have it Tuesday, Wednesday night.
And
I
the
need
reason
know
to do a
today.
special meeting in this instance would be strictly to review the
Yes,
Main Street,
Ma'am?
the Main Street projects, because their construction projects are ready for COA removal.
yes, they are.
So
Yep.
that would be the reason why we would maybe not want to wait until June to
Yes,
review those.
agreed.
But I'll leave it at Jess's discretion to let us know when we're set up for what,
Okay.
so that we can get one on the books.
So I'm sorry, so if the map is approved, then we would meet again to go over the COAs for the Preserving Main Street grant, because if you guys remember, Joe, sorry, you probably weren't here, but we went over the planning documents, so now we have the construction documents, which again have already been approved by the state, by SHPO, just like the planning documents were, but just, we're gonna
Yeah.
look at those again and
It
then
should not
approve
be a
them.
problem,
Yes.
but we should.
So we're already gonna have a special meeting. Do we wanna go ahead and set that up, or?
I feel like it'd be best just to go ahead and schedule it. Do we
That's
have to
fine.
That's
notice
fine.
If we choose to cancel it?
Yeah, no, that's okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we do need to be prepared to react to what they come up with at the town council.
Basically, it has to be at some point next week. Or the week after is fine, I'm just saying I need at least 48 hours.
I think earlier the better.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay,
Let me look at my calendar.
Yeah, I'm okay. If are you gonna do it at 5:30 again, Jess?
it's up to you guys, whatever works for you. With a special meeting, the date and time, just as long as I, again, put it out there within 48 hours, we can change the time. Like our normal regular meeting time is 5:30, the third Tuesday of the month, but if you guys want to change it for that, that's fine. I just have to advertise it.
Are we okay with next Tuesday, which would be the 23rd?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Kathy
Yep, I'm
can't
good with
come.
that.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Tuesday, the 23rd? You're good with that, Deborah?
Wait,
Sorry.
Kathy,
Yes,
you
I am.
cannot?
All I have is a doctor's appointment that day, but that's
I
it.
cannot,
And you
but
cannot?
perhaps Brittany can.
It's my birthday.
I can touch base with her.
You don't
I
want to
can
do
do Monday too.
I can do Monday, if
Thursday,
Monday works better for everyone.
I
I mean, I
can't do
can do Monday
Monday.
also.
You cannot?
I'm working Monday till 8.
What about Zach?
I know, we'll just have to set it and ask
He had
him.
something he had.
I could do Wednesday, the 24th.
Can't do Wednesday.
Can't do Wednesday.
I can't do Monday or
It's an
Wednesday.
emergency meeting, so I normally don't miss
Unless it only
church.
takes like an hour.
I can't do Thursdays.
The COAs won't take
Me
long.
neither.
Yeah, then I could do Wednesday. I just need to leave by 6 to head, yeah.
Well, I don't see you getting out by 6.
We
6:30?
can't, we can't do COA approval until the map's approved, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yes, you are
Yeah.
correct.
So this is just if the map is approved, we have a meeting to approve the COAs kind of thing.
Or if the map is not approved,
Yeah,
then
if
we
it's not,
redo.
we're gonna meet
Yes.
one way or the
We
other.
send a new map and we can't approve, correct?
And
So
it-
we're gonna have to
correct.
do 2
So
meetings.
Tuesday is
to do COA.
fine.
You guys can do Tuesday, it's fine.
You can't do Tuesday. How about
I don't
Thursday?
want to do Tuesday because it's my birthday.
I can do Thursday.
Paul can't
I
do
can't.
Thursday. That's fine.
I will
Tuesday's fine,
make
guys.
Thursday work if that's the only day for
At
people.
5 or 5:30?
Either time works for me.
5:30 on Thursday,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll be there.
No.
this coming Thursday.
Oh, wait, that's the town board meeting.
No,
No,
next
no.
Thursday, guys, which is the
Not this coming Thursday,
25th.
the
I'll have to make it
25th.
work
I
somehow.
can do that day too.
Okay, Thursday, the 25th it is.
At
5:30
5:30.
work for people?
Here,
Here.
okay.
And I'm letting Brittany know.
And just
about
let
it.
us know.
She'll put it on her.
Jared, let us know if that
Okay.
doesn't work. And I
We
can-
got
All
a
right.
plan.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Are you gonna take any more questions from the public? Or comments?
Let me make the
We'll do
motion
one more. It's been a long meeting.
One more, okay.
2 minutes, you're on the clock.
Question, will anybody from the HPC be at the meeting, Brookville
I
Town
just asked
Council, on Thursday, the 18th?
I will not.
Local Historic District?
I will not be there.
I'm not sure, I'd have to look at my calendar, I don't know.
Thursdays are virtually impossible for me, especially this one.
I'll be there, guys.
Okay. Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Well, wait, maybe we know if Zach can go. Deborah, can you go to the meeting on Thursday
Not
or
if she
not?
has the flu.
Well, she might be better by Thursday, this is Tuesday.
Get well quick.
And if not, maybe she can go anyway.
Mike, you
It's
can do that.
horrible. I really don't want to give everyone the flu.
I don't want it.
I can ask Zach.
If you're coming, I'm not.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Is Rachel back? Oh, never mind.
I don't know.
Never mind.
Well, no one can go. Janet, you can't go?
I'll have to look, but I don't know.
All
What
right.
about Zach?
He wasn't here.
Don't
so
know
I
since
just
he
feel
wasn't
bad.
here.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I thought he was on the phone.
Nope.
Poor guy. He had all that paint.
Well, let's talk to him later. We can't, everyone here can't make it, so. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you all.
Motion
All right.
to adjourn.
Motion to
Someone-
adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Any seconds?
Deborah all seconded.
I vote aye. Everybody's
Aye.
vote. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.